Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Flinders Port Holdings is one of SA's top 10 employers, with over 700 employees all over the state and facilitating $25 billion worth of trade annually. They are a key platform for SA's two-way goods trade, and today we're lucky enough to be joined by Group Executive Manager Karen Ross, who has worked at Flinders Port Holdings for 4 years. Thanks so much for joining us, Karen.
Woo! Thank you, guys. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely no problems, Karen. Now, can we start with just going through the basics? You know, what does Flinders Port Holdings do?
Absolutely, we can. We own and operate the Flinders Adelaide Container Terminal. You may have seen it down at Outer Harbour.
Yes. Also
the Port of Port Adelaide, as well as the 6 key regional ports of Port Giles, Port Lincoln, Wallaroo, Port Pirie, Clyde Point, and the big one, Thevenard.
Wow, big operation.
Yeah. We basically look after all the assets and infrastructure for the ports around South Australia.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, considering how many things go on there, like you said, there's so much happening. Can you tell us what businesses actually operate within Flinders Port Holding?
Yeah, can do. We've got a number of different businesses under the one umbrella. The big one, Flinders Port, so that looks after all of the marine pilots, hydro survey, so basically bringing any of the ships into port, making sure they get in safely. Flinders Logistics, which is a logistics and stevedoring services company. We mainly focus on mineral resources, so that's pretty big for South Australia.
Yeah.
Flinders Warehousing and Distribution, that's very similar to warehouse operations that you'd see everywhere else. And again, for us, a big one is our Flinders Adelaide Container Terminal. So those big ships you see on the horizon when you're out cruising up and down the Esplanade, you'll see big container ships. So we look after those coming in and out of the port.
Now, one of the things that we do have you in here for is because you are looking to recruit some more people for the business.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why all the recruitment? Why now?
We've got heaps of recruitment going on. Some of you may have seen, if you have been looking for some bedtime reading, we have a 50-year master plan on our website. Encourage you all to go and have a look at it. Not really. It's a big read. Anyway, it tells you all about our business, which is probably better than me explaining it. So basically, we've had to look 50 years into the future to make sure our business is sustainable for that period of time, making sure we can account for the bigger ships that are going to come in, the amount of increase in traffic and in trade that's going to come in and go out of the state. So we're thinking long-term at Flinders Ports. That means we've got to think long-term for jobs as well. So we've got heaps of jobs coming up and available now.
Are we looking at a lot more trade in the future around SA? So a lot more jobs? Like, is that definitely going to happen?
Absolutely. We consider ourselves the custodians of the state when it comes to trade. We're only going to see that grow as we go forward. So that means more jobs for South Australians.
Great. Amazing.
Yeah. Karen, I mean, you've got over 700 employees already and you're doing all this recruitment. How many are you looking to employ?
Like all of them. Yes,
yeah.
Everyone. We want everyone. We've got different jobs going at different times. So at all times we're looking for the normal corporate jobs. So we've always got big demand for IT jobs, like lots of people, but our stuff's actually really cool. So we've got lots of cyber jobs, we've got lots of data analyst jobs, really good stuff.
Yeah, wow.
As well as the normal corporate jobs that you'd see. And then, as I described with our businesses, warehousing jobs, logistics jobs, stevedoring jobs will be coming up again soon. So all sorts.
So yeah, it sounds like there's a bit of everything for anyone there. What type of candidates are you looking for?
It depends on obviously the skill set. If you go onto the website, you can see what skills we need, but we really want good South Australians to come and enjoy working for a business that looks after our people.
Yeah, and speaking of all the jobs, can you tell us what jobs are available right now with you guys?
We've got some really cool jobs going at the moment. We're looking for graduates, so very keen to hear from people just coming out of uni. There's project coordinators, mechanics, etc. Probably the best thing to do is if you go onto the career page, fill out a profile, and then we can match you up with the job that we've got available.
Great, it's that easy.
Yeah, simple as.
Cool.
Amazing. Well, head to flindersportholdings.com.au. There's roles available right now for graduates, infrastructure and cloud specialists and IT project manager. Karen, you've been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much for having us.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.